Welcome back to GSMC's Down by Contact Sports Podcast. I am your host, Jeremy Lapidus. Today is Friday, April 18th, if you were just tuning in. We just finished going the Eastern Conference in the NBA playoffs, which are just about set. After tonight, they will be with the conclusion of the play-in games. Didn't really matter, I don't think, for the 8th seed in either conference. We had the Celtics coming out of the East, but who's going to face them in the West? We'll answer that question in this segment, but before we do, remember, if you would like to be an even bigger part of the show than you already are, all you need to do is go to gsmcpodcast.net. Or if you're on YouTube, you can use that super chat feature. If you do either of those two things, a message should pop up on the bottom of the screen for you, me, and everybody else around the world to see. If you do have a burning question about sports, anything at all that you would like to ask, go ahead and throw that in the comments. Throw it in the chat. I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. I appreciate everybody so much for sticking around, talking some sports with me here on a beautiful Friday, April 18th. But like I was saying, we are going to get a little bit here into what's going on in the Western Conference of the NBA playoffs. I will say this Western Conference is wide open. I think any team, 1 to 7, could realistically find their way out of the West. We're talking any team other than, I think, the Mavs or the Grizzlies, although, honestly, maybe even they could have a chance if they get the right set of circumstances to go their ways. This Western Conference is going to be insane. So we'll start off with that Grizzlies-Mavs matchup. I think that's going to be a really good one tonight, of course. Late at night, after our show, it's going to tip off. That one's going to be really interesting to watch. It's all going to come down to how the front court of each of these teams plays. How does Ja play in the back court for the Grizzlies? Is he going to be able to take over this game? I think the defense of the Mavs is just going to be a little bit too much. They're a little healthy. I like the way that they played in that game to get to this 8 seed matchup. I think the Mavs ultimately move on to give the Oklahoma City Thunder their best in round 1 of the playoffs. Speaking of that matchup, even if it does go to the Grizzlies, again, kind of like the Eastern Conference, I just don't think it matters too much. This is an Oklahoma City Thunder team that is supremely talented. You have the MVP on your team. You have J-Dub. You have an excellent group of wing defenders in Caruso and Lou Dort and everyone else. Even Shea is in that group of excellent wing defenders. Down low, you've got Chet. He's back playing really good basketball right now. There's no real weakness on this Oklahoma City Thunder team, and that's why they had the best record in basketball. That's why they have the MVP on their team, and that's why I think no matter who they play, they get out of there in 5 games. The Oklahoma City Thunder, yes, they are a young team, but at the end of the day, I don't think the Grizzlies, without a head coach, we saw how that came to bite them at the end of that Golden State game, and the Mavericks with just a big dysfunction in the organization right now after trading away Luka. All of those bad vibes right now with those two teams. I am sticking with the Thunder, who have all of the vibes on their side. They win this game. Not just vibes, of course, but because they have an excellent offense and excellent defense, they win that series in 5 games. Who will they be playing in the next round is super interesting, though. Again, kind of like the 4-5 matchup on the other side, this one is really intriguing to me. You have the 4-seed Denver Nuggets, who, much like the Grizzlies, also fired their head coach, this time with just 3 games left in the season, and the Nuggets are undefeated with Adelman at the helm over there. Jokic, of course, is probably the reason why you could win just about any game with Jokic in it, which is why you can never count the Nuggets out. The Nuggets, of course, who won the championship just 2 seasons ago, go up against a red-hot Clippers team. A Clippers team that has gone 18-3 over their last 21 games. A Clippers team that has won 8 straight games. A Clippers team that has a healthy Kawhi Leonard and a healthy James Harden. This is a Clippers team that is looking unstoppable. Now, of course, you have to talk about the history. A lot of people, when you're talking about the Clippers, not just their team history, but also the personal history of James Harden in the playoffs, are going to point to that and say, hey, they can't go too far. But we've seen James Harden lead teams all the way to the conference finals. There's no reason they can't win a first-round series. Again, Inexperience is going to come and bite the Nuggets in the butt. We've seen that when we talked about the Eastern Conference, when we talked about the Grizzlies. I think it's going to be a very similar kind of situation between the Nuggets and the Clippers. I love the way the Clippers are playing. They are the 5 seed, so they don't have home court advantage, but I think the home court that they have is probably the biggest advantage in all of the NBA. The wall that they built, I think, is super cool, and I think it's really worked against these teams so far. They've been really good at home. Zubac has been amazing all season for them. He's a candidate for a most improved player this year. You have a really solid rotation with a lot of really quality players. Norm Powell, Bogdanovich to hit a couple threes. And then, of course, your star players. You have James Harden, you have Kawhi Leonard. And Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs, when he's healthy, is no joke. And he is healthy right now, playing great basketball. Knock on wood for some health there. As long as he is healthy, I think the Clippers are the dark horse in this playoffs, and I have the Clippers advancing in 6 games. The next playoff matchup, we have the Los Angeles Lakers, headed by Luka Doncic and LeBron James, taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves, led by Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle, and Rudy Gobert. Of course, this matchup is probably the best possible matchup for the Lakers in the first round. And I hate to say that because I love the way that Anthony Edwards has played all season long. He's the 3-point leader this season. He really developed a 3-point shot. He did a lot of work this offseason, and he went on a run. He took them out of the play-in. They were struggling early season. They got on the same page with Julius Randle, but the same way that people are going to talk about James Harden, they should be talking about Julius Randle. Julius Randle has done a disappearing act in just about every single playoff series that he has been a part of. At least with James Harden, he has been able to show up in all but one game that he has, and I think Kawhi Leonard can mask that one game as long as he is completely healthy for this team. Julius Randle, they need him to play good basketball, but against LeBron and Luka, who absolutely cooked the Timberwolves last year in the playoffs in the conference finals, that's not a great matchup. The one part that you can take advantage of the Lakers on is at that center position. But the issue is you have Rudy Gobert. And Rudy Gobert, who's very good at defense, one of the best defenders in the NBA right now, he just can't play offense, especially in a playoff setting. We've seen it year in and year out. Going up against Jackson Hayes is not the greatest matchup, but he's also not a guy that you can really funnel offense through. If they had to go up against the Nuggets, that is a nightmare series for the Lakers right now. If they had to go up against the Oklahoma City Thunder, that is a nightmare series right now. Honestly, if they had to go up against just about any other team in the West, it's kind of a nightmare series. They get their feet wet in the playoffs. They get to test how this team is going to be able to perform in a playoff-like environment in the first round against a Timberwolves team that I think just doesn't match up very well against this Lakers squad. And because of that, I've got the Lakers winning this series, I should say, in 6 games. In the final first-round matchup to go over, the number 2 seed Houston Rockets, a young Houston Rockets team that has played out of their minds recently, going up against the Golden State Warriors, an old Golden State Warriors team that escaped with a victory over the Memphis Grizzlies to advance to play this series. This is going to be so much fun. This series I have highlighted on my sheet as the closest series overall. We went over a couple series that could go either way. Talk about the Nuggets Clippers, talk about the Bucks Pacers, talk about the Knicks Pistons. This series is literally a coin flip for me. You have the Houston Rockets, who have one of the best defenses in the NBA, led by a core of incredible young talents that have stepped up this season and secured a 2 seed in an incredibly tough Western Conference, going up against Steph Curry, one of the best point guards of all time, the best shooter of all time. He's still at the end of his prime, right? His prime is done, but he can still shoot it with the best of them. They bring in Jimmy Butler, who we saw playoff Jimmy show up in the play-in games. You provide play-in Jimmy with Steph Curry, playoff Jimmy, I should say, with Steph Curry, and Draymond Green playing really good defense right now. You got Podziemski stepping up. You have a lot of guys that have stepped up huge for them. This is going to be a series that is going to be games finishing at about 90 to 100. Last time these two teams played, these two defenses shine. Both of these defenses near the top of the NBA right now. It's just about whose offense can step up, who's not going to make those mistakes. This one really could go either way. I think I'm leaning towards the Rockets in this one. It's hard to say that because Golden State has the experience on their side, right? Golden State, I think either way, this goes 7 games, but playing a game 7 in Houston as opposed to playing it in Oakland in Golden State's home arena makes a huge difference. I love Jimmy Butler. I love that combination between him and Steph Curry. But I also really like this young Rockets team. I think people are overvaluing the fact that they're young. We say this a lot. We say there's a lot of young teams in the playoffs right now, right? You have a really young Pistons team. You have a really young Thunder team. You have a really young Rockets team. All of these teams, very young, very hungry. I don't have any of them advancing other than the Houston Rockets. Because I think this Houston Rockets team with their defense is just going to be that much of a difference in this series. Both of these teams, again, with really, really solid defenses. But I'm taking the Rockets to take down Golden State, avoid an upset in 7 games. But again, this series, I truly think, is the closest one. A true coin flip could go either way, and we'll have to see how it goes once these series get going. Injuries, of course, can step up. Hopefully none of it does, but I'm taking the Rockets in this one. They take care of business against Golden State in 7 games. Again, OKC in 5. We're taking the Clippers in 6, the Lakers in 6, and the Rockets in 7. In the second round of the Western Conference, you have the Oklahoma City Thunder, the 1 seed, taking on the Clippers. This one also going to be a very good matchup. I love the way that, again, defense is played by this Oklahoma City squad, but I really think this is a Clippers team that could be a dark horse. Kawhi Leonard is playing amazing basketball right now. I still trust James Harden. I know I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to take the Clippers to advance to the finals, going up against either the Lakers or the Rockets. And why not, guys? I'm taking the Clippers in 7 games in that one. Then I'm taking the Lakers over the Rockets. These two teams also should have a hard-fought battle, should go 7 games as well. Steven Adams down low is going to cause a little bit of trouble, but really the main offense for this Rockets team is going to be on the outside. I think Luka's going to be able to step up, despite some really strong defense from the Rockets, and I think the Lakers move on as well to force a Battle of LA in the finals, which should be a lot of fun. This one could go either way. Again, this Western Conference, like I said, is wide open, but I love the way that this Clippers team is playing, and maybe I'm playing my hand too strong, but I love this Clippers squad. I think they advance to the NBA Finals to take on the Boston Celtics for their chance to win a finals for the first time in a very long time, first time ever, I believe, for the Los Angeles Clippers. They take care of business against LeBron and the Lakers in 7 games again, and then they get a tough matchup against the Celtics. I think they went through a gauntlet in the West, and because of that, despite a gauntlet coming out of the East as well for the Celtics, going up against the Cavaliers in that last round, also going 7 games, it's just tough to pick against this Celtics team right now. I'm taking the Celtics to go back-to-back in this one. They beat the Clippers in 6 games. Kawhi Leonard, I think, puts up a bit of a fight, but I love this Celtics team. I think they're pretty much unstoppable, and I think they win the Larry O'Brien Trophy. They lift it above their head. Number 19 for the Boston Celtics. 2 in a row for them. New owners start off with a new title. Then the luxury tax kicks in, and we'll see how they handle that. But I'm taking the Celtics to win the NBA Finals this year in 6 games over the Los Angeles Clippers. I'd love to hear your thoughts, though. Who do you have making it out of the West, making it out of the East, and ultimately, who do you guys have lifting the Larry O'Brien Trophy? I'd love to hear your thoughts. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we turn our attention to hockey. Their playoffs also start this weekend. We'll go over the East, then the West, and pick a Stanley Cup champion at the end. That's coming up next here on GSMC's Down by Contact Sports Podcast.